Have you ever had a Scorpio man disappear from your life only to suddenly pop back up months later as if nothing happened? Maybe he sends a random message, likes one of your posts, or finds some subtle way to remind you that he's still there. Just when you think he has moved on, he reappears. So, why do Scorpio men do this? Why do they seem to keep tabs on certain people long after the relationship has ended? The truth is, Scorpio men form deep emotional bonds. And when someone leaves a lasting impression on them, they don't always let go as easily as they may appear. Let's explore why Scorpio men keep coming back into your life, what it usually means, and why some connections are much harder for them to release. Scorpio men form deep emotional bonds. Scorpio men are not typically known for making shallow connections. When they care about someone, they tend to invest emotionally on a very deep level. Even if they do not openly express everything they feel, that does not mean the connection was insignificant to them. For many signs, relationships come and go, but for Scorpio, certain people leave a lasting imprint. And once that emotional bond is formed, it can be difficult for him to completely detach. Some connections stay with him much longer than people realize. So, if a Scorpio man keeps resurfacing in your life, it may be because the bond he felt with you never fully disappeared. Scorpio men have a hard time letting go. Scorpio is a fixed sign, and fixed signs are known for their staying power. When they commit emotionally, they do not detach overnight. Even if a Scorpio man appears to move on, a part of him may still be processing the connection long after the relationship has ended. This is especially true if the relationship felt intense, transformative, or emotionally unresolved. Scorpio men tend to revisit connections that stirred something profound within them. Sometimes it is not even about wanting the relationship back, it is about the fact that the emotional imprint remains. They may wonder, what happened? Did the connection mean as much to you as it did to them? Could things have turned out differently? These unanswered questions can keep a Scorpio man mentally and emotionally attached. So when he reappears months later, it is often a sign that he never fully released the bond in the first place. Social media allows him to keep tabs. In today's world, social media makes that curiosity even easier to satisfy. A Scorpio man may quietly check your profile to see how you are doing, whether you seem happy, who you are spending time with, or whether anything about you has changed. He may be looking for clues. Have you moved on? Are you dating someone new? Do you seem happier without him? Do you still appear emotionally affected? Scorpio men are naturally observant, and when they remain emotionally attached, they may use social media to stay informed from a distance. They want to know if you still think about them. Scorpio men are naturally curious, especially when it comes to people who had a meaningful impact on them. Even after the relationship ends, they may still wonder, do you ever think about them? Have you moved on? Did they mean as much to you as you did to them? Is there still an emotional connection? This is one reason a Scorpio man may reappear unexpectedly. Sometimes he is not returning with a concrete plan. He simply wants to gauge whether he still occupies a place in your mind and heart. Scorpio men are deeply perceptive, but they also seek confirmation. They want to know whether the bond they felt was real and whether any part of it still exists. That is why he might send a simple message, react to a post, or check in out of the blue. It may seem casual on the surface, but beneath it is a deeper question. Do I still matter to you? And for a Scorpio man, the answer to that question can mean more than he is willing to admit. Scorpio men are drawn to unfinished stories. One thing to understand about Scorpio men is that they do not like loose ends. If a relationship ended abruptly, if feelings were left unspoken, or if there was never a clear sense of closure, the connection can continue to occupy his mind. Scorpio is a sign that wants to get to the bottom of things. They want to understand what went wrong, what was left unsaid, whether the outcome could have been different. When they feel that the story is unfinished, they may revisit it mentally for a long time. And sometimes they revisit the person as well. This is why a Scorpio man may pop back into your life months or even years later. He may not fully understand why he feels compelled to reach out. But on a deeper level, part of him is still trying to resolve something internally, whether he is seeking answers, closure, or simply reassurance. The connection still feels incomplete to him. And until he feels that chapter is truly closed, he may continue to circle back. Distance can intensify their feelings. Sometimes a Scorpio man does not fully understand how much someone means to him until that person is no longer in his life. When the relationship ends and the day to day contact disappears, he is left alone with his thoughts. And Scorpio men tend to reflect deeply. Without distractions, he may begin to replay memories, revisit conversations, and think about what the connection truly meant to him. In some cases, distance can actually strengthen his feelings. Why? Because absence creates mystery, and mystery keeps the mind engaged. He may begin to wonder, what are you doing now? Have you moved on? Are you happier without him? Is there still a chance? The more unanswered questions he has, the harder it can be to let go. This is why a Scorpio man may return long after the relationship has ended. Time apart did not erase the bond. In some cases, it only made him realize how significant it was. Reappearing does not always mean he wants a relationship. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if a Scorpio man comes back, it automatically means he wants to rekindle the relationship. That is not always the case. Sometimes he returns because he is feeling nostalgic. Sometimes he wants reassurance that you still care. And sometimes he simply misses the emotional intensity of the connection. Scorpio men are deeply emotional, but they can also be cautious. They may test the waters before revealing what they truly want. And in some cases, they may not even know what they want. They just feel drawn to reconnect. That is why it is important not to assume too much based solely on his return. A message, a like, or a sudden check in tells you that he is thinking about you, but it does not necessarily mean he is ready to commit or rebuild the relationship. His reappearance shows that the connection still matters to him. What he intends to do about it is a separate question entirely. When a Scorpio man is truly done. When a Scorpio man has genuinely released a connection, his absence tends to be complete. He is not the type to linger out of habit. If he feels emotionally finished, he usually withdraws his energy and focuses on moving forward. That means no random check ins, no subtle attempts to get your attention, no curiosity about what you are doing, no recurring appearances months later. In other words, if he keeps resurfacing, there is usually still something unresolved within him. That does not necessarily mean he is in love or that he wants the relationship back, but it does suggest that the connection still occupies some space in his emotional world. Scorpio men may hide their feelings well, but their actions often reveal what they have not fully let go of. So, if a Scorpio man continues to pop back into your life, it is often because some part of him is still attached to what the two of you shared. Closing, Scorpio men keep coming back because they do not experience meaningful relationships in a superficial way. When they form a deep emotional bond, that connection can stay with them long after the relationship has ended. They may reappear because they are curious, because they are seeking closure, or simply because they want to know whether they still matter to you. Sometimes they return because distance made them realize what they lost, and sometimes they come back because a part of them never fully let go. Of course, every Scorpio man is different, and his maturity level plays a major role in how he handles his emotions. But in general, if a Scorpio man keeps popping back into your life, it is a strong sign that the connection left a lasting impression on him. And for Scorpio, some bonds are not easily forgotten.